Welcome to Sweet Tea Channeling. I'm Debbie Pokornik, and with me is my co-host and our gifted channeler, Susan Hoskins. If you are new to these calls and find you have questions about what we are doing, we strongly encourage you to go back to June of 2023 and listen to the introduction from one of those calls. We outline everything for you there. You might also find that listening to those channelings provides a helpful foundation for everything that we bounce around on our calls. In a nutshell, we are creating Hoomadhi, a reality filled with compassion, understanding, and delight. And we're doing it every day of our lives, right here, right now. We have already opened sacred space for all of us, but we ask that you take a moment before starting to center and ground yourself with a few deep breaths and call in your guides to help you pick out the most relevant pieces from our conversation for you personally. I'll be silent for a moment so you can do that.
Debbie, the nugget I'd like to share is this one. Intend very clearly what you want in this moment to sustain you, to nourish you, to fulfill you.
I have had such fun with that nugget this week because I had this moment, and this is for a lot of people, including yourself. It might feel like, well, of course, that's what it meant. But I hadn't really fully internalized the idea of what is it that you need just in that moment to fulfill you, like when you're living in the now. And so I had this moment where I sat down and I read that out exactly like you had just done. And I'm like, okay, what do I need to sustain me and nourish me and fulfill me right in this moment? And I realized, oh my gosh, I'm pretty, I'm pretty content. I
Mhm,
mean, I can always use money, but
mhm.
I'm not out of money. Right? And I can always use, I don't know, a fun laugh or whatever, but I'm around family, I'm doing all this, and I realize that at this moment, if I'm asking just for what I need, I actually do not need anything more. Now, that's an amazing place to be. And it is not my reality all the time, let me tell you. But what it really did for me is I had this moment of it just clicking into place of ask for what you need right then. Like that intent of what is it you really truly need. I intend to have a beautiful day of heaven on earth, to be right here in Hoomadhi. I want to laugh. I want to talk. I want to be with people that I love. I want to get outside. I want to play with my dog. That's what I want. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes such perfect sense because, I'm used to uh, trying to manifest what I think I'm going to need in the future. That's why this channeling was so important to me.
Yeah.
And that comes from a place of scarcity. That comes from a place of, but my money may run out. So therefore, could you bring me more money now so I can stockpile it and not have to worry about that? And this
Mm.
channeling was like, whoa, no, it's intending what you need in this moment. And the perfect example of that for me yesterday was, and I won't go into all the background, but when I jumped in the shower, I was feeling that what I really wanted that day was some validation that our sacred work matters and that
Hmm.
I matter and you matter. That's what I would really love, some validation today. And then all of a sudden you and I connected on our Hoomadhi Zoom call meeting, and you shared that wonderful visual that a friend of yours got that had to do with you and me and Hoomadhi.
Yes.
It's like, Oh my gosh, that so validates exactly what I asked for in the shower, exactly what I needed. And I sailed through the day with a big old smile on my face because I had everything I needed in the moment to feel that. So,
Yeah.
yes, that can show up in so many ways.
Well, and I love that, you set an intention for what you would like, but you had absolutely no idea how it was going to come. And meanwhile, my friend has had this dream that involves us, this vision, and she shares it. And it was just so, so powerful. And what we are doing here is really important. And I don't mean for that to sound like we're tooting our horns. It is about every person that is drawn to this, all of us. We're doing something really, really amazing here. And that it's important that we're validated. It's important that we're able to admit, you know what? There's days or moments really when I just don't feel like I'm making a difference.
Mm.
You know, I love that. I love how those things come about. There's something that was also in that channeling. You know what I just have to say? One of the things I really love about the channeling is I kind of have to take it and digest it in little chunks. So I love that we do these nuggets because then I can pull them out and start to really understand them. But there is a nugget in there that you've touched on before. We understand that you are living in a consciousness wherein you're in competition for the scarcity of money, which you must build, stockpile, and store away so that no one can take away your good. That particular nugget um, is important, I think, for all of us to recognize that this is the foundation that we're coming from. Right?
Mm.
This is what we're taught. We're taught to compete. We're taught to um, be embarrassed if somebody says something to us, like you mentioned in a previous one about, you haven't paid, right? We react to it because there's a sense of, oh, I've done something wrong and I've been caught doing something wrong, only I didn't do anything wrong. Right? So we react. And I just think it's really important that we become aware of those pieces and shine a light on them so that we can go, oh, I don't have to react that way. I don't have to feel that way. And yeah, I just find that that's all a very beautiful way to live.
Oh, it really is. And it's coming to me is the fact that when I intend for money from a position of scarcity and I might run out, what I find is that there's no amount I intend that is enough.
Hmm.
Because then my mind will go, but what if?
Hmm.
And yet, when I'm living in the present moment, intending for what I really need in this moment, like the validation yesterday, that was worth more to me than going to the mailbox and finding an unexpected check for a big amount. I mean, it was just, it
Yeah.
filled my heart and it was
Yes,
enough. And it was enough. And that's a profound awareness.
it is such a big piece to really take in and fully embrace that there
Mhm.
is no amount of money that truly will make us feel secure. Because if you were on an island, and you had millions and millions of dollars with you, it is no good to you. You still, if there's no food, if there's no way to get hold of other people, all of those pieces, that money is useless. And you suddenly realize money isn't what buys us security. And so when we're thinking that, oh, I need money, and then you get a hug from somebody and it just feels like $1 million, right?
Mhm.
You realize that's more important. Doesn't
Well,
fill my belly. I get that, but you know.
well, and what I had an awareness last night about this that I love. So I go to a monthly book club where I live,
Mhm.
and last night I was sitting around and all of the ladies before we began were talking about all the wonderful trips to Europe they had just taken.
Okay.
And the old me would have been like, okay, when's my turn? I want to do that. I don't, I can. Mm. That isn't
What
even
about me?
Yeah, what about
What
me?
about
What am I
me?
gonna do? No, but instead, what I experienced with all this last night is the joy of just being happy and joyful in my present moment, exactly where I am right here, feeling happy, feeling joyful. And so that I could listen and I could acknowledge and I could say, gosh, that sounds wonderful. But it wasn't taking away my joy at all. That
Right.
they experience this and I'm experiencing my world right now. And it's beautiful.
Yes.
And that
Yeah.
just, it felt so good. It just felt like, I love this. Sure, I would like to take that cruise one day. Gosh, I'd like to go visit that place one day. And I'm sure that will happen. But my happiness today is not contingent upon something that may or may not happen in the future. It's here. It's just here right now.
Yeah. Ready to join us live on these calls? Send us an email at info.hoomadhi, that's HOOMADHI @gmail.com. We'd love to have you play with us.